Well, Rip City didn't go as planned. Not exactly how it was drawn up. As the Blazers go into San Antonio, get close for a second, but can't make the full comeback and can't grab an upset in Game 1 in San Antonio as they fall to the Spurs, 111-98. Welcome into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you would like to join the conversation with us here tonight, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. Of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, join the chat there, or hit us up on the text line. 88528 is the number there. Lots of ways to get involved and have a little fun here. But for the main part, it's just, man, it's Game 1 is what it is. We'll talk about it. Obviously, that's what we're here for. But when we look at around the NBA, only one away team got the Game 1 victory in the last two nights. Round 1 of the playoffs. Every home team won except the Detroit Pistons, who lost to Orlando earlier today. So, Blazers, time to readjust, time to figure it all out. Still plenty of series left. I know that's the big thing here, because now you're going to look at this and you're like, oh, you know, they lost this game, it's all over. It's not. It's one game. We all know what that means. You play 7 of them for a reason. Now, can you readjust and have a better game in Game 2? You would hope so, because you look at what happened here in Game 1, and there is a lot that you can easily point at as to the reason that the Blazers lost this game. Let's take a look at that box score and figure it all out. It's time for the Rip City Recap. We talked about it in the pregame show, and that was the Blazers needed to make sure that offense was firing. They needed to be able to score with San Antonio. Defensively, I felt it was going to be a struggle with Wemby, but they were going to be able to get their stops when they needed them. They did. I mean, only one quarter in this game did San Antonio score more than 30 points. In fact, it was the first quarter when they led 30-21 at the end of the quarter. But you heard the broadcast on the TV side, I think it was Reggie Miller at one point, said, you know, if the Blazers had just hit some of their threes, they'd be up by double digits right now. And it was a brutal night from beyond the arc. The Blazers ended the night 10 of 38, 26% from beyond the arc. San Antonio was 15 of 33, or 45%. Neither team went to the free throw line a ton. San Antonio was 16 of 19. Portland was just 10 of 12. Part of that being a little apprehensive, a little afraid to get to the free throw line or drive into the paint, where Victor Wembanyama was lurking most of the night. When you have him down there, yeah, you're gonna balk a little bit. And then, of course, on the glass, Portland was beat 45-38. They didn't turn the ball over a ton. They were below their season average by quite a bit, just 11 turnovers in this ball game. So really, I think you can look at this game and you can see that just awful three-point shooting, and kind of pin that one on part of the reason this game got out of hand. The biggest lead for San Antonio in this one was 21. The biggest lead for Portland was 3. And points in the paint, 48-42 in favor of San Antonio. Second chance points, each team had 13. Fast break points, 20-11 in favor of San Antonio. Bench points favored the Blazers, 29-21. Turnovers, San Antonio had more. San Antonio also just 9 points off of turnovers. Meanwhile, Portland had 15. So there was a couple things there to like, and some things about this game that were fairly even, but the massive standout was what happened beyond the arc. Now, Sean in the YouTube chat, he says, considering how rough the offense was tonight outside of Denny, the Blazers were still in the game for most of the night. Gives me hope for a victory or two in Portland. Now, yeah, I think that's one takeaway for me. Absolutely. The offense, especially that three-point shooting, was bad. And they still had their chances in this ball game. Now, taking a look at the individual box score, Devin Vassell had 15 points, 6 points for Julian Champagnie. Victor Wembanyama, 35 points. Yikes. He was good. Just a little bit. He had 2 blocks, 4 turnovers, only 5 total rebounds. 17 points, though, from De'Aaron Fox. Stephen Castle had 17. And off of the bench, Luke Cornett had 10. On the Trailblazers side, Denny Avdia, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 points from Tumani Kamara, and 4 points from Donovan Clingan. And I want to go back to that because that's something we talked about in the pregame show. I was on Tumani Kamara, how the Blazers definitely need him to continue what has been a very good offensive onslaught, as it were, over the last few weeks. Very, very good on that side. And one of our YouTube commenters was talking about how DC needed to have a big game tonight. They, need more than 10 points, or you need more than 8 points. Some of the performances he put together against the Suns or the Clippers. Well, tonight those two again combined for 12 points on 4 of 14 shooting. So not a great night from those two. Definitely need to find a way to get them involved. Jrue Holiday was a rough one as well. 4 of 15, including just 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. He had 9 points, 18 points from Scoot Henderson, so a good performance from him, and then 10 points from Matisse Thybulle off the bench. Robert Williams had 11 as well. Jeremy Grant struggled, had just 5 points. So you look at this, you look at the comment Sean had, and his other one, DC played tonight, yeah, exactly. But you look at Jeremy Grant not shooting the ball well. Shaedon Sharpe struggling. He had just 10 points. I said Matisse Thybulle had 10. Matisse Thybulle had 3. Shaedon Sharpe had 10. But Shaedon Sharpe was 4 of 13 from the field. So that's your guy who, when he was healthy all year, was your second best scorer. He struggled. Jeremy Grant was one of your most reliable scorers. He struggled. Tumani Kamara had been a very good offensive weapon. He struggled. And yes, some of that is clearly the San Antonio Spurs offense. But I look at those things and then look at what San Antonio did and go, okay, Portland, if you can fix those things, you have a chance to win a game or two. You have a chance to still make this a series. This is just one game. No series is lost after one game. But you have to make those adjustments, and you have to get better. Otherwise, this could be a very, very short series. Gray Hughes says, the Blazers shot so bad and only needed to make 5 or 6 more shots. The Spurs played as well as they could play. The Spurs did play very well. The crazy part is they probably could play better if they needed to, but they were locked in. They didn't make a ton of mistakes, made big shots when they needed to, and maybe that was a little bit of that home court advantage, right? You feed off the fans and you get going. But again, overall, I'm not completely looking at this game upset by it. It wasn't the greatest of games, but still so much I look at and go, okay, if you shoot the ball better, if you do this, if you do that, you're going to put yourself in a good spot. The only tough part is this team has not been great on the offensive side of the ball all year long, so it's a lot easier said than done to go, okay, well, go shoot the ball better. We know how rough that can be. That was up. That's just, that's it. And the one thing I could take away from this is that Victor Wembanyama is a problem. Yeah. He's filthy. I mean, that's filthy. What do? There was a time when, Shaedon Sharpe ended up getting the foul because he got contacted, but Shaedon Sharpe runs in and throws the ball up over the outstretched arm of Victor Wembanyama, and you look, and Victor Wembanyama's fingertips are about 14 feet off the ground, and they tip the ball. Like, how do you shoot over that? Oh, he's so good. He is so good. Now, I did talk about it pregame too. Like, I like this Spurs team. Very, very good pieces there. Well coached. Great chemistry for a young team. Like, they're probably going to win a championship at some point in Victor Wembanyama's tenure there. At least they should. But they did not have those first game jitters like Portland did. And maybe Portland just didn't have first game jitters either. Maybe they just weren't that good today. But you can go through this with a fine-tooth comb, and it was that three-point shooting today that just absolutely did Portland in. Once again, if you're just tuning in, 26% from beyond the arc, 10 of 38. It's not going to cut it. Not going to cut it. At the end of the day, the San Antonio Spurs only made one more shot than Portland did. Portland was 39 of 91. San Antonio was 40 of 84, but they made 5 more three-pointers, so there's a swing right there of at least 5 points, right? Take one of those over the 2-pointers. And then at the free throw line, they made 6 more free throws. So math checks out. Math checks out. This is the fifth quarter. If you'd like to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. Of course, you can go to YouTube.com, type in Rip City Radio, where Ryan and Sean and Timmy are holding down the chat. And, of course, you can hit us up on the text line, 88528. Now, before we go to break, we're going to go right out to the phone lines because we got some friends. We got some friends of the show who are in Texas tonight. You guys know him. His name is Sam. He's on the fifth quarter all the time. Sam, welcome in.
Hey, Chris. First Blazers fifth quarter with Sam Oakey during the playoffs. We loved it.
Did you make the drive from Austin to San Antonio?
Yep, we just left the game.
Okay.
I mean, listen, the Blazers, I didn't think they got beaten. I like to make the distinction between losing and beating because there is a difference. The Hornets got beaten. The Sixers got beaten. Blazers lost. I think there's a few things about the three-pointers, the selection in general. But honestly, a good start for the Blazers. I mean, not about against a 60-win team. It was a great sign for a 7th at the beginning of the series.
Yeah. No, I don't think that there's too much from this game that I get completely upset about. Hopefully they get over those first game jitters and look better in game 2, right?
Absolutely. Denny looked great today. Not afraid of Wembanyama at all. Right, shoulder right into Wemby, step back, little, 10-footer at the end of the game. I like that. Good Henderson, with confidence. I think that's the most important thing for him. No matter, how silly his shot may be, according to some people, how forced it might feel, 16 points in a playoff game is 16 points in a playoff game, and it's first game ever in the playoffs. I love it.
And the most important question though is how was the visit to UT Austin?
Well, we're visiting tomorrow. We're visiting the business school, business honors, and the university. By the way, shout out to my sister Alexis. It's her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Alexis.
Yeah, it was a hostile environment. It was loud. We were sitting up in the ceiling, but it was loud up there. Like, unbelievable.
Well, I said
a few Blazers fans.
Well, I said in the pregame show that it's a loud stadium. That's for sure. Their PA system might be the loudest in the entire NBA. They do not. Your dad will get it. They have the volume up to 11 in San Antonio. That's 100% factual. So.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, Wembanyama is an unstoppable force. The best thing to do is slow down his teammates. I really want Clingan to get more involved. I think maybe he got a little bit intimidated by Wembanyama. He's the same height as Luke Cornett. He can compete with Cornett, at least, in my opinion. And for Wembanyama, it's a matter of drawing him out on the defensive end. Like, if the Blazers play wide out and Wembanyama is drawing out to that three-point line, I understand, his steps long, twice as long as, the average human or whatever. But you can get to the cup as long as Wembanyama is stuck on that three-point line. Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, hey, thanks for the call, Sam. Enjoy the tour of Texas, and we'll hear from you after game 2. I'm pretty positive.
Absolutely. I'll try my best. I think I'm on the airplane at that time, but thank you very, very much.
Oh, of course, as always. That's our man, Sam, our resident author and Blazer fan, a great young fan. And yeah, he's down with his family in Texas. He's looking for colleges to go to. Hook 'em horns. I mean, I tried to put my sway in there. Proud graduate of the University of Oregon. Let's go Ducks. Back in my day, I got priced out of all the universities that were really on my list. I wanted to go to Syracuse, Miami, or Washington State, all top-tier journalism schools at the time. Couldn't afford that out-of-state tuition. So I went to one of my top 5s. It was still a school I wanted to go to, but couldn't go be a Cane. So I went and was a Duck, and it was awesome. College is great. Now taking a look at the YouTube chat, Pete says the playoff jitters were ever present. Two looked a bit passive. Scoot had some bad turnovers. Let's clean it up and get back to it on Tuesday. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Clean up some things and you'll be competitive. I thought that this game had its moments, that run in the third quarter where you're able to make it a one-possession game and you just couldn't get over the hump. Like, there is a lot out of this game that you can like. I will tell you this, one thing that is not going to work for this team moving forward is some of the lack of ball movement that San Antonio was absolutely able to key on and then stop possessions. Jeremy Grant really wanted to play ISO ball at times tonight. He was a team worst, minus 25. Shaden Sharp went ISO ball a few times. And it's not even like picking on those guys in particular for doing it. It's just what the offense does sometimes. Oh, put it in Denny's hand, go ISO. Put it in Scoot's hands, go ISO. To beat this Spurs team and to really get the offense going the way you want it, you got to find ways to move that ball around. Get it around the horn, get the ball moving, and you can still get downhill and get within your rhythm. I think that's one thing that you got to do. But like Keith just said in the YouTube chat, not upset by this game at all. Just because I look at this and go, okay, I can see exactly where they need to improve. If they hit, if they go 13 of 38, they go 14 of 38, 15 of 38, just 5 more three-pointers, it's a completely different ballgame. They continue to attack downhill, get to the rim. It's a completely different ballgame. So there's a lot from this that I see. Okay, fix those things, just like Pete was saying, and I think you put yourself in a very good position to still try to steal one. Ideally, you want to steal game 2 and then come back to Moda tied up, but maybe steal game 3 with a little bit of Moda magic on your side. I would just say this. From watching that game, I feel confident that Portland can compete with this team. I thought for the most part they did tonight. And big hat tip to San Antonio. I do not want this to sound like, oh no, Portland just definitely had a bad night. That's the only reason they lost. No, San Antonio forced them into a lot of those bad shots and played defense that made it hard for them to get moving. But now Portland has to be smart enough to fix those things to get to the next spot. That's all. That's all. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the 5th quarter. When we come back, we'll head to the phone lines, and if you want to join that conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can hit us up on youtube.com. Just go there, type in Rip City Radio, join the chat, and you can hit us up at the text line, 88528. If you're on hold on the phones, stay there. We'll get to you after the break here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right. You can get in my ear when we're closer to coming back. I'm going to yak at YouTube for a sec. There you go, YouTube. You got your behind-the-scenes production. See me talk to the wonderful Michael Shacker. Let's see what we got over here on the YouTubes. What's Keith says, fully agreed, Marcus. So Marcus says, Spurs are beatable. The game had a lot of positives for me. Yeah, Marcus, and that's how I feel. I feel like it was a good game all around. The offense just was stuck in the mud. I think that I gotta find ways to stop saying I think so much. It's my fill word. But this team can sneak a game, and defensively, yes, San Antonio hit some. I mean, Wemby hit a couple insanely tough shots, as did everyone else. But defensively, I mean, 111 points in 2026. I'll take that. There's still a lot that I think this team can work on, fix, shore up, and be in a good spot for game 2. The flip side of that is San Antonio also probably looks at a lot of things that they can go fix and do better and put themselves in a good spot to have a dominating win. So that's the chess match of the playoffs that you love when you get a 7-game series. But there was far more that I liked from this game than I disliked. Didn't like that ISO ball. definitely need a little bit more ball movement around the horn. Keith was a big fan of Scoot Henderson. Thought he did play well tonight. Everyone wants him to just light it up and go drop 1,000,000 points or whatever, but he played well. He was your second leading scorer, and just get the ball in his hands, let him go sometimes. So Keith is a all-time scooter. He's a scooter defender. He's his new aunt, his new Penny. Oh man. Got another chat. Denny is a top 12 player. I'd have to go through my 12, but he's top something. He's incredible right now. You got to give him some props. Pete, the answer is you don't. I don't think you can. like I don't think you can. He's just he's so good. He's so good. And it just hurts even more knowing that was the draft. Portland was right there. And then all the math, Portland just finished one number away and forgetting the number 1 overall pick. And Victor Wembanyama is so good. He is so good. Keith goes in, and you're not the only one to go with that strategy, Keith. Let Wemby get his, and find ways to shut down the rest of the team. And you're not too far off, because when you look at this one, you take Wemby out of it. They still had 4 players in double figures, 3 of whom were pretty, important to their success tonight. Devin Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, and Stephen Castle. Julian Champagny can get it going too. He was just 2 of 3, so he didn't need to be involved. But try to, maybe focus on those guys. The only thing is Wemby's going to still go get his. 13 of 21. So defensively, I think they did about the best they could. But yeah, it's sometimes just, what do you do to defend Vic? You do what Pedro Martinez did after the Yankee game. You tip your hat and call them your daddies, right? All right, Saw's putting Saw to 5. He's putting down Wemby, Jokic, Shea, Luka, Tatum, Brown, Mitch, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, Katie, Ant, Cade, Denny. Okay, fair list. I'd have to break down my 12, see how I'm feeling. Yeah, that's the hard part, right, Pete? Is those two, you got to be careful with that strategy, because the Spurs have guys who will kill you. So you do have to be careful. Defensively, though, I don't necessarily think defense was the problem in this one. It was the inability of the offense to get going. If they shot better than 26% from beyond the arc, it's a whole different ballgame we're talking about. Anyway, chat, I appreciate you. I'm going to cut off for a sec. We'll be back on radio in about 30 seconds. Welcome back into the 5th quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. And we have a question from the YouTube chat about Deni Avdija, which I'll answer in a second, but it's a good segue because it leads right into our drive of the night.
We make it easy. Check out their inventory now at VancouverToyota.com.
Johnson with the ball fake, drive, pushes off, and has the ball stolen. Now ahead to Avdija, off to the races, drives and dunks it in. It's an 11-point game, 26 for Deni Avdija. 4:25 to play in the 4th quarter. 103-92.
And that drive of the night presented by our friends at McCord Vancouver Toyota, where they live by the slogan, We make it easy. Check out their inventory now at VancouverToyota.com. Eric chimes in and said, should have known. There's no way the NBA's letting Wemby lose in the first round. Still go Blazers. Go upsets in the first round. Now, I get that's where everyone likes to go. We like to talk in jest, but that's not true. I mean, they're not. Oh, gotta make sure Victor Wembanyama wins. If that was true, Michael Jordan would have started winning championships before, this three-peat in the early 90s, rather than getting bounced in the 80s all the time. Vic is going to win first-round series because Victor Wembanyama's really, really effing good. Wish we had him. Wish any team would say that. He's absolutely phenomenal. I do think Portland has a very good chance of rebounding in Game 2. They need to rebound the ball better, literally, and then they can put themselves in a pretty good spot. Now, the reason I said that was a good segue to one of our questions was Sada5 was asking, do you believe Denny is a number one on a championship team? And the answer is like, old school, like relationship statuses on Facebook. It's complicated. I think Denny Audia is absolutely a number one on this team right now. In the long run, how many teams is he your true number one on? What I mean is, if you put him in Minnesota, is he the number one? The answer is no. If you put him in OKC, is he the number one? No. If you put him in San Antonio, is he the number one? No. LA? No. So you could go through that list and start to see. I think Denny is positioning himself to be there. I don't know if Denny is there yet. For him to be that, in my opinion, he has to do what he did this year, next year, and really prove that this was not like this 1 year type thing where he got the keys and was, well, look at this, look how nice this car is. He needs to do it again, repeat that. And if you do that with a guy with the talent level next to you of Damian Lillard, that's impressive. And that's where you start to build that number one out. And you'll see that because Damian Lillard is going to come into next season very likely still thinking he's the number one option. And we don't know. He very well might be. We don't know what this version of Dame's going to be. But what kind of version of Denny does that unlock will speak a lot about what he is moving forward. I know right now he's been absolutely incredible. And the Blazers probably wouldn't have been a play-in team and got to the playoffs as it wasn't for him this year. All right, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number where we'll head out to the phone lines right now, back to the other side of the Columbia, the place I lived for a few years, and our friend of the show, Kenny in Vancouver. Welcome in, Ken.
It didn't go the way we wanted, but that was a winnable game if we would have had guys who could actually hit shots other than a couple guys. And, the ball movement is, I get what you're saying on the ball movement, but the bottom line is if you pass the ball to those guys and they can't hit shots, you ain't scoring. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, I saw some really brutal shooting tonight.
No, you're not wrong, Ken. It was absolutely rough, and you still need the ball movement because the ball movement will lead to easier shots. But you're absolutely right. You need those guys to hit those shots. So that's why I said it's all easier said than done with this team. We have seen the inefficiencies in the offense all year long, but we've also seen the offense look really, really good at times, and that's what you need to beat San Antonio.
Well, that's where I get to part number two, because the ball movement is essential for this team to be successful. But the return of Curious George tonight is my big upset moment. He was pathetic. He couldn't have had a worse first playoff game. He was the anti-Wemby tonight. He was awful. His movement was awful. His rebounding was awful. His shooting was awful. There wasn't one good thing the kid did tonight. And I'm telling you, if he doesn't straighten his act up and become Kling Kong, we got no chance in this series, because that's why Rob played so much. Rob actually did help move the team and at least do some interior damage. Klingon was awful. It was just pathetic. There's not enough words to say. I mean, it was the great Doug Moe would have said, he's a stiff. That's the way he played tonight. So that's the guy that's the key in the next game. Shoot better. I think the Blazers will shoot better. I have no doubt they will shoot better. But the bottom line is, if Curious George can't pull his head out, we got no chance. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, of course, Ken, and thanks for the call as always, and thanks for the laugh. I love when you called in and dropped out the first time. Curious George, but here's the thing with Donovan Clingan. We want to be on him because we want him to be better. This is year one as a starter still, right? This is his first playoff experience, and he's going against Victor Wembanyama, which is tough. We knew going in that this lineup with a guy like Victor Wembanyama was going to expose him a little bit. So I like the fact that Curious George showed up, just because I think Curious George is smart enough to learn from these mistakes, right? Put your hand on the hot burner, on the hot stove. You either learn that you shouldn't put your hand there, or you're dumb enough to keep touching it. And you need to be smart enough to go, oh, wow, don't touch that when the flame's on. Don't touch that when it's red hot. It's just also, at the end of the day, he's not that type of center who is super quick, super athletic. He's kind of an old school, big, lumbering big who can shoot the three. You're right. That's why you got to get Robert Williams in there at times. So Robert Williams, good game, 5 of 7. He had 6 rebounds. Donovan Clingan had 7. Donovan Clingan played just 21 minutes, fewest minutes of any starter. So you have to adjust those things. And I think he'll be okay. You do need a much better game from him in game 2. You are absolutely correct. All right, let's head out to Paul in Portland. Paul, thank you so much for waiting patiently. The floor is yours.
Chris, what was that?
It was a basketball game and a tough loss, my friend.
This is what I'm saying. I would rather see Denny. I always used to hate on Denny ISO ball, but I would have rather seen that. I think Blazers got to have some of the lowest, third quarter IQ out of any of the teams. We have a chance to tie it 3 times in a row, 3 possessions, and turn it over each time. How do you not, as a head coach, does Thiago not call the timeout on that? I don't get that.
Well, that
was our momentum. We came out swinging really hard and third.
Yeah, no, and the answer to your question I don't have, because it all depends on how coaches are, and I feel like Thiago has gone the way he is. It's hard for me to describe, Paul, and I'm sorry, but it's just sometimes he goes the Terry Stotts way, where Terry wouldn't call a timeout sometimes because he just let him go through the pain of and try to learn it on the fly, and sometimes he's instant timeout. He goes both ways, and in that instance, yeah, where you're saying, okay, you need to figure it out. You can't go down in that situation, turn the ball over every single time in a crucial time to tie the game or take the lead, right? So I get your frustration in that moment for sure.
Well, I'm glad he's not calling challenges in the first 2 minutes of the first quarter anymore. But I just don't know if Denny can do this all by himself. I think the last caller made a great point. Where was Clingan and Tumani? Don't even get me started on Drew and Jeremy. I don't even want to talk about that. But, I don't know. Rob was the only one that showed up. Denny, I think he played great. I mean, there was a moment where he got totally blocked by Victor really bad that's where we switched the momentum around. But I think Rob played great. I genuinely think, first caller said, we didn't get beat, but we lost. I genuinely think we get game 2. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Paul, and thank you so much for the call. And maybe it was. Maybe we can just chalk this up to opening night jitters. First time in the playoffs for these guys in a absolutely madhouse that is San Antonio. Everyone wearing the Fiesta-colored shirts, which is absolutely a beautiful thing, by the way. One of the best color schemes in the NBA. You know what? And everybody in the house, you look over, you're a guy playing your very first playoff game. You look over, you see Greg Popovich, David Robinson, and Tim Duncan. Yeah, you might Manu Ginobili was there too. Okay, yeah, this is the playoff game, and San Antonio brought it. They fed off of that energy, absolutely they did. And so I think at times Portland got gassed and then didn't have that same energy reserve that they did. That's why you want to get those home games. So I'm with you though. Make those adjustments that we all saw and we would expect, and you have a very good chance of stealing a game, and maybe you steal a game too. You don't want to start talking about Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday did not have a very good offensive game, like you said. Jeremy Grant was not good at all in this one. I thought Scoot Henderson looked good, 7 of 11. Yeah, he did have those 3 turnovers, but he was your second leading scorer on the night. It's just the unfortunate part is you cannot put everything on the back of Denny Avdia every single night and expect it to just go out and be a W. You need everyone to show up. So to your point and kind of the points I've been making and the points everyone else has been making, yeah, you need 2 to show up. You need DC to have a better game. You need Drew Holiday to have a better game, etc., etc., etc. Now, Pete asks another good question in the YouTube chat here. Chris, do you think the NBA teams will be built differently in the future with Wemby stoppers, mobile big men on every single team, because Vic is so dang good and you won't be able to win without it? I think it is a little bit different than that. I don't necessarily think it is the needing big mobile guys. It's just needing to have a team that can move around and push him around. Sometimes you can go with a big lumbering big who can still front him and push him around. Look at the battles that you see between he and Nikola Jokic when they go at it. And Nikola Jokic is not what you think of a massive, quick, athletic big. You think of him as that big, old school lumbering big man. You can get away with that. And you saw what Minnesota did, and it's got him into the conference finals twice now, trying to battle with those bigs. Oh, we're going to go Julius Randle, and we're going to have Rudy Gobert, and we're going to have Naz Reid. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but they've made it to the Western Conference Finals. Just haven't got over the hump. So there's various ways to build that team, but to that point, you're absolutely going to see teams start game planning and building for a Victor Wembanyama-led NBA future, because it's going to be absolutely tough to beat him. He's so darn good. You've seen it throughout the eras. When you get those guys who are just dominant, there was a time when Shaquille O'Neal could not be stopped. Nobody could touch him. And then you got to try to get guys. You got to get your big guys in and get more 7-footers on your roster. And if you got guys who are just big lumbering guys who want to pick up fouls, who cares? Get them on your roster. Victor Wembanyama is that type of guy who changes it. Now, Keith chimes in, more Scoot! Yeah. Scoot's been playing good lately, and get the ball in his hands some more. Get the ball in his hands some more. I don't think he played as if the stage was too big or the lights were too bright. I thought he played well. Another one of our commenters. I think Klingon comes back next season really good. I think he's going to get destroyed the rest of the series, and he'll be great after work in the offseason. And hey, I'm not mailing this series in yet, but to your point, who looks so much better this year than he did last year because he had a great offseason? Donovan Klingon. Donovan Klingon is 100% a starter in this league. Doesn't mean that he does not have holes in his game in that he needs to fix. Absolutely he does. And when you put him up against Victor Wembanyama, it's rough. One of our texters says Chris is the excuse in giant letters maker for Klingon. I don't okay. You can say that. You can die on that hill. I don't know what excuse I'm particularly making for him outside of calling the fact out that he was going to get exposed in this game, and we all know it. I have been on his rear end many a time. I don't know if that's making an excuse for him. I think that he is a very good center who can change the game. Tonight was not one of those nights, and he still has a lot that he can fix, but he's a young center. Year one as a starter. We're talking about a guy last year. We were talking about cardio. Oh, he can't run up and down for more than 12 minutes. And now here he is, and he's won games for you. Like he's a good center. Saying that he's good and also pointing out where he needs to be fixed. I don't necessarily think that's making an excuse for him, because there was no excuse tonight except the fact that we knew that this roster, and Victor Wembanyama especially, was going to put him on an island and he was going to struggle. He has done it multiple times. Played against Jared Allen, big man who can move and shoot the ball. He struggled. Did it against Phoenix in the game right after that. Mark Williams, who is an athletic big, a guy who doesn't tear up the league every single night, but he's an athletic big. Yeah, Donovan Klingon struggled. But then we've also had the nights where he rebounds and has really, really big nights. He plays up and down. That's just the fact of the matter with him. I don't know if that's an excuse maker. Just telling it how it is, my friend. All right. Before we go to break, we still got one more segment to do. Got to get these sponsored deals out of the way. It's time for a scoreboard report.
This NBA Scoreboard Report is brought to you by McCord's Vancouver Toyota, where they live by the slogan, "We make it easy." Check out their inventory now at vancouvertoyota.com.
All right, it is playoff time. Plenty of games today going down. Had some yesterday too, so let's give you a rundown of how things have looked here in the association. So tonight, He had a couple games. He had Boston hosting the Sixers. Boston won that one 123-91. OKC hosted Phoenix. They won 119-84. Detroit hosted the Magic. They lost 112-101. The only home team to drop game one in the playoffs so far. San Antonio hosted Portland. They won 111-98. And if you missed any of the action yesterday, Cleveland beat the Raptors 126-113. The Nuggets beat the Timberwolves 116-105. The Knicks beat the Hawks 113-102. And the Lakers beat the Rockets 107-98. This NBA Scoreboard Report is brought to you by our friends at McCord's Vancouver Toyota, where they live by the slogan, "We make it easy." Check out their inventory now at vancouvertoyota.com. We're going to take a break here on the fifth quarter, and we come back. Going to hand out a game ball. We've got a new segment Shacker told me about, too. Defensive player of the game or something like that. Look at that. I got producers in the back putting in work, baby. Plenty of that and more conversation coming up after the break here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, YouTube, how we doing? Chris, the Donovan Klingon excuse maker, here with you during this commercial break. Hello, I always love when he's Chris doing this. Man, wearing my rose-colored glasses. Just cracks me up, man. I wasn't trying to make no excuse. What I do? It cracks me up. Oh man, what do we got? Yeah, the playoffs will be just fine. There'll be some close games. We'll be good. It's not going to be a bunch of snoozers all the way through. Keith says, where was this comment from Keith? Where was it? I saw. Oh, if Klingon gets played out of the series, is that kind of on Tiago? I mean, yes and no, right? Because Tiago needs to not put him in those situations because he's going to get burned. But at the same time, if he's going to be the starter moving forward, and he's in your top five every single night, and he's got to be able to step up. So if I'm coaching Keith, and go through it this year, you just coached as an assistant in middle school. Now middle school is a little bit different, but still, if I have my people that I know have it in them, I'm going to throw them to the fire, and I'm going to challenge them to answer the call. Now, there's plenty of people who are going to point the finger at me like, oh, man, that kid or that player or whatever is getting burned. Why do you keep playing him? Because part of me wants them to answer that challenge. And taking them out and coddling them is not going to make them answer that challenge. So that's where I would say, like, it's a yes and no. I totally gave you a non-answer. I apologize. Towed the line. But I get where Tiago wants him starting. I get where Tiago's going to play him. And then it is Donovan Klingon's responsibility at some point to answer the call. He absolutely has to. Now you look at tonight, Keith, there was those struggles. Donovan Klingon played 21 minutes. Matisse Thybulle, Shaden Sharp, Jeremy Grant all played 20 minutes off the bench. So, yeah, if you don't answer the call, you get hit. You absolutely get hit. So, Yeah, I don't think I would. I think there's a lot of people who would put it on Thiago because everyone wants to tell you how bad Thiago is. But no, especially when he is your starting center, you got to make him answer the call. Got to make him answer the call. Tall Tim, people need to chill. Well, come at me, bro. We made the playoffs, and we have a very young and inexperienced team. Wemby is a freak. He's so good. So the bigs had to play out of position to get him outside. We knew that. Again, we absolutely knew that, Tim. That's what we talked about in the pregame show. Knew this was going to happen. Doesn't mean they can't learn from it, though, and you can't call it out. Yeah, they'll shoot better. They need to. Also, Tall Tim, Screwball, is that a unique Tall Tim production? I got my notifications that you posted a new video. I gave it a listen. I gave you your view. Timmy says you can't be mad. WrestleMania was good tonight. I'm on Team Obafemi, hardcore Obafemi. And I acknowledge, as a proud Pauly, I acknowledge my tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you'd like to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. Shout out to everyone over on YouTube as well. You can head over there. Just type in Rip City Radio. Keith's holding it down. Tall Tim's entered the chat. Everyone enjoying the conversation. Got plenty of texters as well. Most of them just calling me out for defending Donovan Clingan, which I love. So I'm just here so I don't get fined. And we were talking about Donovan Clingan during the break, and someone asked, like, if he continues to get burned or gets played out of the series, is that, can you blame Thiago? And it's a yes, no. I admitted that I fully towed the line there, because I can understand where a coach wants to put a guy in those situations, because at some point, if you want to be the guy, if you want to be the man, you got to answer the call. You have to respond to those situations. We'll see what happens moving forward. I don't think that this game is the end of the Blazers season. I think they played well enough to win this game. They would have just hit some shots. But that's a key to basketball. I looked this up. I didn't even have to use ChatGPT. Did old-fashioned research, and research confirmed that you win 100% of the games, that you score more points than the other team. Who knew? So the Blazers offense needs to be leaps and bounds better in game 2. And for those of you who listened to Blazers Game Day, that is exactly what we talked about heading into this one, that they could not stay with this team if that offense is brutal. Their defense, it will get you stops, but not enough to keep you in a game full stop. You have to make your shots. And when you struggle like they did from beyond the arc, which we've seen through 82 games, when they shoot bad from 3, they don't win a lot of games. We know what the recipe is. Now you just got to make sure you measure your ingredients right, cook it for the recommended time, and do it all correctly. Keith knows, he's in the chat. He's made sourdough bread many a times. You got to have the recipe dialed down. You got to take it out at the right time. You got to let it sit for the right amount of time. You got to do everything perfectly. The Blazers need to get the recipe dialed in. They have the ingredients. They just have to dial it in. All right, let's head back to San Antonio real quick. Here from head coach Thiago Splitter. It's time to head to the Coach's Corner.
Corner with Thiago Splitter on Fifth Quarter, presented by Coors Light. Choose chill, Portland.
Sean Hike and Rose Garden Report. Thiago, just overall, how do you feel like you guys played in your first playoff game?
Well, the Spurs put you in tough positions. Against them, you got to shoot the ball well from three. We didn't have, 10 for 38, 26%. So you got to shoot the ball better. The possession games, I think they did a good job rebounding the ball. We couldn't get offensive rebounds as we do usually. We took care of the ball, only 10 turnovers. But overall, I think we play hard. We're going to watch film, see what we can do better, and our schemes and defense and offense, see what we can do better.
Tiago, Joe Freeman from the Oregonian. How would you describe your approach to defending Wembanyama, and how did you think you guys did at defending him?
So we put different guys on him. We started with Tumani. Jeremy has him a little bit when we went small, and our bigs also. He shot, he had an amazing game, of course, 35 points, 5 for 6 from 3. It's really hard to take him out of the paint. I think we did a good job for the most part, taking him out of the paint. Of course, he rolled a couple of times. It was small on him, and that's a bucket. But those 5 threes really hurt us.
Tiago, Bill Oram with the Oregonian. Turn the mic on, Joe. You come into the series and there's so much attention on Wemby and how you take him out of the game, but it seems like you guys really struggled in the minutes he was also on the bench to take advantage of that. What about those lineups gave you trouble, and how will you go to bed thinking about those minutes tonight?
Yeah, I thought we couldn't make money out of those minutes. You're right. I think Cornette did a good job defending and grabbing offense rebounds. I think we gotta be better in those minutes for sure.
Tiago, what do you think of how Scoot played tonight?
I think he was great. He was taking advantage a little bit of the drop there, shooting those middies. He was effective. Overall, a good performance by Scoot.
Tiago, we were all curious about how a young team would respond to its first playoff test. Do you think that had anything to do, just the lack of experience? And
it's hard to say. I think they play hard. They try to follow the game plan. We made some mistakes, of course. It's first time we play against, Wemby this season. I think there's a lot of things to learn from him because he changes the game so much. You gotta go back, watch film, some more practice, and go from there.
What was your message to the team after the game?
Basically that. They play hard, they fought, wasn't our best night. But, this is a series and we gotta learn from this, adjust, and go fight again.
On that point about it being a series, this is potentially a 7-game series. How do you not let your guys beat themselves twice, or not let Spurs beat you twice with this game?
Well, I don't think you gotta go game by game, and if they beat you twice, that's it. You go next one. There's always like a next one going on. Till you're not done, you're not done. So you gotta be ready for that. Mentally, physically, be ready for those games.
Tiago, Danny leads the league this season in drives. Wemby leads the league in blocks. How did you see this clash today with Danny adjusting to Wemby playing against him?
Yeah, I thought we tried to do some stuff against him. Of course, he's elite, and they do a good job leaving Wemby under the rim. Like I said, it's not an easy thing to do. One of the best defense in the NBA when Wemby's on the court. So not an easy task, but Danny, I think, always finds a way to score. He shot some middies, shot the 3, and go from there. Thank you. One more?
I was just going to ask. If what that response you got from the crowd when they introduced you pregame felt like.
Yeah, I think people here have great memories of that team 2014, and I think it's it's good. It's good to hear that and be recognized.
And there you hear from head coach Tiago Splitter, and sounds very similar to what we've been talking about. Rinse it off, on to the next, watch film, improve. Give the team their credit for playing hard. Obviously talked about Victor Wembanyama being an absolute terrible, terrible guard. Gosh, he's so good. That's one good thing. That's one good thing about this game, was enjoying watching Victor Wembanyama. He's an absolute freak. Like I said, the alien, as they call him. Man, he's good. One of our questions on the text line. Hey, Chris, a couple of thoughts and questions. First, do you think Jeremy is still limited by the calf injury? I didn't even realize he was in the game until the broadcasters mentioned him late in the game. Second, still a little confused, not happy with why the Kings felt the need to gift wrap their star De'Aaron Fox and send him to the Spurs. I don't remember what the Kings got in return, but I'm pretty sure they didn't get value. Man, the Kings are so wild. Like, hey, you look at that roster, first off, I don't know how they built that team the way they did or why, but one thing they need is they could really use a point guard. Huh. They had De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton, y'all. You could really use a point guard? You traded two pretty good ones. I don't know what they were thinking. De'Aaron Fox is a great fit in there in San Antonio, too. And he's one of those guys that's just fun to watch because he's so darn quick. But, man, now you look at what happened here. It was February 3rd, 2025, part of a 3-team trade. Sacramento traded him along with Jordan McLaughlin to the San Antonio Spurs. The Chicago Bulls traded Zach LaVine and a second-round pick to the Sacramento Kings. And the Kings traded Kevin Huerter to Chicago. San Antonio traded Zach Collins. Oh, there you go. That was went over to the Bulls. It was a weird trade. Oh, yeah. And the San Antonio traded City Sissoko, a 2025 second-round pick. And, City Sissoko part of that. So that was that. But Zach LaVine, cool. He was a highlight reel and all that, but he doesn't seem to be leading to victories in Sacramento. That roster needs some work. Needed point guards, traded two good ones. That's a good question. Now, as for Jeremy Grant, no, I don't think the calf is bothering him. It didn't seem to be bothering him when he was hitting those big shots in Phoenix during the play-in, so I don't want to say that is an excuse right now. Just be better. He was not good tonight. The calf seems to be fine. He was cleared. They aren't going to clear him if he's not ready to go. He should be fine. He needs to be better. Thank you for the question. Anyone else on the text line? Since I just realized our text line's so dumb. It either has auto reload off or every 30 seconds or whatever. But you have to you have to set it every time. I can't just set it and let it go. It's like I need the relapse. I need the reloads. Come on. I am making our texter who called me out for being the Donovan excuse maker. I did get an LOL back because I just texted him back. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate the comment as well, man. It gives us something to talk about. And I appreciate you listening as always. Another one of our commenters, the same guy. Drew and Jeremy are veterans who are not ready for game one. Inexcusable. Now, rather than combat you for coming at me, bro, 100% agreed. 100% agreed. They were the guys you talked about. Oh, the veteran leadership. They're going to show up. This is what you need them for. They did not show up for him tonight. Hopefully, game two is a much different vibe. Hopefully, everything's ready to go. We shall see. We shall see. All right, before we go, we still got one more thing to do. Actually, two more things to do. I hear what's this we gotta do? Defensive player of the game. So we got new features on this show. Shacker, roll it.
The first response defensive player of the game.
Blocked by Grant, picked up by Holiday.
First Response is the Northwest's only complete security solution in a category of one because everybody else falls short. Check out fr-inc.com or call 503-207-5300.
Yeah, I think the first response defensive player of the game, honestly, is going to go across the way to Victor Wembanyama. He changes how you have to play offensively, and the Blazers are going to have to adjust to that a little bit. That play I talked about earlier, Shaedon Sharpe driving to the rim, kind of throws up that floater, and it goes over like the outstretched finger of Vic, and he blocks it. But his hand was legit 12, 13 feet off the floor. Like, how do you take a shot over that? How do you like, that's crazy. And it's like and here's the thing that makes Victor Wembanyama even better. It's not the fact that he's 7'4". It's the fact that he's good. We have seen plenty of 7'4", 7 foot. We've seen the Taco Falls of the world, but they aren't good. Victor Wembanyama is good and super tall and athletic. It's just, he's the total package. Getting a chance to watch him for this series is an absolute treat. Like, quite honestly, like, this is what, like, we will talk about the Blazers, right? And their chance to win. That's what we do here. You will all talk about the Blazers. You're all Blazer fans. But I know one thing about most of you, too, is that you're all just basketball junkies. And a chance to watch Victor Wembanyama in person in Game 3 is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool, especially when the Blazers take it to them and get a dub. All right, before we get out of here, still got one more thing to do. It's time to hand out a game ball.
Who is the MVP tonight for the Trailblazers? It's time for Game Balls on Fifth Quarter, live from the Coors Light Studios. Coors Light, choose chill.
All right, I got to give the game ball to Denny. He played like Denny Avdia. 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. He was 12 of 21. He was doing everything he could. It's just you look up and down the lineup. The only other player that showed up truly offensively was Scoot Henderson. Very good game from Scoot. 7 of 11. He had 3 assists, 3 turnovers. You would like him to get those down, especially I think some of those coming in crucial moments. But he showed up. He was ready to play. At some point, too, you know, the guys who are ready to play, ready to score, get the ball in their hand, let them go, baby. We talked about Donovan Clingan and testing him. Well, if the other guys are passing the tests, reward them with a little bit of that extra credit. You feel me? A little extra pass here and there. Get him going. Vit Krejci played just 53 seconds in this one. Didn't play in the play-in either. Obviously, you go with these tighter rotations. Looks like, I mean, Thiago basically went with a 9-man rotation. Gotta wonder if there's a chance to maybe get him in there as well, to just space the floor and hit some shots, because you absolutely are going to need it in Game 2. All right, that's going to do it for the fifth quarter tonight. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Once again, final score in San Antonio, the Blazers fall to the Spurs 111-98. Ooh, terrible. Unfortunate. But my friends, I remind you, it's just game 1. There's 7 of them if you need them. And hopefully the Blazers need them. Hopefully the Blazers take advantage. Grab another game, because you still got at least 3 more to play. Game 2 will be on Tuesday. Tip-off for that one, 5 p.m. means I will have Blazers game day for you, starting at 3. Oh. Regardless, my friends, my listeners, my family, isn't it nice to be in the playoffs? We're not sitting on the couch watching the other teams. We are partaking. And I will tell you that much about this game. Before the game tipped off and you're watching the playoff presentation and you're feeling it, and then you saw the Blazer jersey, you're like, that's right. We're back. There might be growing pains against this Spurs team, but we're back, and it's great. I will be back with you on Tuesday, game day, 3 o'clock. Rip City, baby. Let's get to it. I'll talk to you all on the next one. Yes, because I'm going to come in studio for Rip City Drive. Yep. Cool. Yep. We're good. All right. We'll be good. I'll talk to you later. All right. As I like to do, because you guys have been so good, that was me talking to Michael Shacker, signing off the broadcast. Thank you, everyone in the YouTube chat. You guys were awesome. And I think we're all on the same page here. There's a chance to still steal a game in San Antonio in game 2. It's going to be hard. This San Antonio team is really, really good. And I don't know if they're a championship team this year, because Oklahoma City's filthy, but they're going to be fine in the long run. They're going to win a championship before Victor Wembanyama retires. I feel like that's a certainty. But Portland played well for parts of this game and well enough to win. It's just that offense really put them in a hole. I don't think Portland played terribly. Now, if Portland would have came in here and looked like it was 100%, it was just, oh boy, they're not a playoff team. They're completely overmatched. I would have worried a little bit. I don't think that was the case. I think they got beat by a really good team. Maybe had opening night jitters. I don't know. Some of us get butterflies. But they'll be fine. Game 2 hopefully is a better vibe. And hopefully they get a win. Hopefully they play like they've been playing, the last few games. You play like you played against Phoenix, you can win a game. Play like you did against LA, you win a game. We'll see what happens. I just wanted to stay on just for a few extra seconds, though, just to give you guys that extra love. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I will see y'all on Tuesday. You have a good night.